Hey guys, my name is Kaya. I'm the founder of Wordify, and we help SaaS and software companies with their content marketing. So I want to quickly show you the content marketing funnel that we've seen work. We've put these funnels together for our clients, and we've seen them work quite well for them. So I want to share the actual model with you and go through the type of content you want at the top, middle, and bottom of your funnel, and how it should all tie together. So I know first and foremost this isn't incredibly in depth and detailed, and there's a lot of things here that have not been discussed. For example, we've got SEO here feeding the entire funnel, and SEO in and of itself is a journey. Same thing for advertising, same thing for social media marketing. However, it's just to give you an idea of what the funnel should look like, the type of funnel that you guys, perhaps at your SaaS company, can put together and start building content around. So let's get started at the top. So this is top of content, as you can see. Obviously, blog content is going to dominate this section, but also it's any sort of public-facing content, the kind of content you can find on your website typically. So it could be case studies, it could be YouTube videos, it could be videos like what I'm doing right now to describe your vision, your product, or whatever it may be, or it could even just be product videos. You showing some, how somebody used your product to build something, right? That kind of thing. That could also fit into here. Technically, it could fit in down here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it could fit into there. But typically, yes, blog content is going to dominate it, and that's the kind of stuff you want at the top. So you want to be quite broad with this content. You want to address the core questions that are being asked in your industry, and be quite broad with it. And then what you want to do is lead them on to the second part of the funnel, the middle of funnel, and this is where you lead them to gated content. So this is why I find it extremely important, and it gets on my nerves sometimes when I see SaaS companies and software companies not doing this. They publish the blog content, they publish the case studies and their videos, and they've got some good, cool content on their website, but they fail to make that link. At the bottom of the blog post, they won't have the link to the gated content. So they'll write a post about headless content management, right? Headless CMS, and it'll be a really good blog post, but you get to the bottom of it and all you can see is an author bio. When really, what you should be doing is getting them down the funnel and say, hey, you want to learn more about headless CMS? Check out our white paper or ebook or webinar on the latest trends in headless content management, right? Or something like that. That's where that link needs to come in. That's how you move people from here to here. So the next section is gated content, white papers, ebooks, webinars, anything that's gated, anything that you're going to put behind a wall, not a paywall, but to get data, right? So you want to get their name and their email, and maybe their company as well, but that's pretty much including the email. So name and email is what you want. That way they get access to more in-depth content that perhaps leans on your product a little bit more, mentions your product a little bit more than you did up here, but mainly you're giving them more content and more value for just data. There's nothing additional there. When you get that data, then congratulations. If you've been GDPR compliant anyway, or if you're in the States, and you may have a few more months before you have to worry about that, or elsewhere in the world. But if you're in the EU, GDPR compliance is very important. But the idea is to get their data from here and move them down here, which is the bottom of the funnel. Before I talk about this, let's talk about when do people become marketing qualified leads, MQLs, and sales qualified leads, SQLs. It depends on how they react. It's somewhere in here, the MQL and the SQL, and it depends how they reacted to this. So here, what should have happened if you set your funnel up correctly, they've gone to a blog post, they've gone to the bottom of the blog post, they've clicked on the link to take them to a relevant white paper or ebook or webinar, and then have they signed up to that? Have they signed up to receive the white paper, the webinar? Have they opted in, GDPR compliant form to opt in to get more marketing material from you? If so, congratulations. I'd say you can mark them as an MQL. There is difference of opinion on exactly when you can do that, but I would say that's fine. Okay, so it depends how they react here. It could happen in here, or it could not. They could click on that, see your landing page for your white paper, and think nah, and then you never see them again. Fine, but they got there and they went away. But some of them will drip down. Okay, let's talk about, before we get to the SQL, it's going to be the same concept. Now what you want to do, you've got their data. You want to start sending them email drip campaigns. This is a very, very important step that we see working very well for our clients. You don't want this to be a generic campaign that goes to everybody. Okay, so we spoke earlier about headless CMS, headless content management as one topic. It could be personalization is another topic. It could be analytics. It could be e-commerce. Anything you want, whatever you guys are into. It could be landing page building, website building, UI, UX topics, whatever it is that your SaaS company does or caters to. You you want to have a few different topics that you write content on. And then when you come down here, you should have a personalized or bespoke email drip campaign depending on the topic. So again, if you go back to my original example of the headless CMS stuff, the headless content management, if somebody does read a headless CMS blog post and they read a headless CMS white paper or they watch a headless CMS webinar, then they should be put into your headless CMS drip campaign. And if somebody, similarly, if somebody comes through a personalization blog post, watches a personalization webinar, then you should have a separate campaign for them with separate content in a different email drip campaign. I'm sure you get the drift. Other product-focused content and video demos. So I would include that in the email drip campaigns. The email drip campaign is the main driver here. So once you've got them into your email drip campaign, personalized to what they the content that they actually are interested in, what you want to do is maybe we have experimented with 5-part, 7-part, and 8-part email drip campaigns. Those have worked best, but you could do 3-part. I wouldn't recommend it's that short. You could do 3-part. You could do 10-part. Right? You could go. Some companies go all out and they do like 10, 15-part. We find between 5 and 8 seems to be quite good. How you space it out, we'll maybe talk about that in a different video. But what you want to do is recap on what you have spoken about here. Okay, so remember exactly where you've come from, and you could do this maybe in the first email, where they've come from, how they found you, and then you want to talk about new content they haven't seen before. Because what you don't want to do is get them here and then send them a blog post that they already read, all right, or send them another blog post that they could have just found on your website anyway, and you're sending it as some sort of exclusive content to their inbox, right? If you're in somebody's inbox, make sure you're giving them value, not just stuff that they could find by themselves. So although you could maybe reference a blog post in one of your emails, don't make that the main point of the email. What you want to do is start talking about product-focused content and have video demos, right? Especially if you're a enterprise SaaS company where your product isn't really accessible until you hit the product demo or the meeting, right? The sales meeting. What you want to do now is give them some value here and say, hey, I notice you're reading some stuff about headless CMS. Here's how our CMS does, here's the authoring environment. Here's how our CMS helps marketers with a cool authoring environment, and it helps them preview the content wherever it's going, right? You can actually show them that in a video. Or you could have, a blog post that's sort of, not published, but it's like a unpublished blog post or an unpublished piece of content somewhere, maybe in PDF form, that just goes out, product brief, that goes out to them here, says, hey, saw you're interested in headless stuff, here's what our product has to offer on the headless front. So again, you can stretch it out over 5 to 7 or even 8 parts, and make sure you're hitting all the questions that you've seen come up in sales calls that that kind of lead would have, right? If they're talking about personalization, try to hit all their main concerns of personalization in those 5, 6, 7, 8 emails, right? The end goal, of course, is to get them, and you can do this in each email, to prompt them to schedule a product demo or a meeting, or both, right, at the same time. And that's essentially it. I don't want to sort of babble on too long because this is the model. It works, and yeah, we've seen it work, and I think it's a pretty good model. How long does it take to put this model together? Technically speaking, you can actually get this functioning for at least one topic, right? So again, if you go back to the headless topic, you should get 3 blog posts for headless, a headless white paper, and then 1 email drip campaign. You could probably do that in a couple of months, right? If you push it, you could do that. But that's not going to sort of fully kit out your entire funnel, right, from top to bottom. So it will take time, depending on how hard you're pushing, on how much budget you've got, how quickly you can create content. You can get it done, I'd say, the whole thing within 6 months, and you can actually you could probably target about 4 to 5 different topics. So like I said, headless content management, personalization, analytics, so on and so forth. And you can actually have 10 blog posts each, 3 different white papers, and a drip campaign for each of them with bespoke content. And again, when they become an SQL, it depends how they react, right? So if you send them that first email campaign or email drip, the first one, they do nothing. Second one, nothing. Third one, not even opening it. They don't open it ever again. Then they're not an SQL. If they have and they're interacting, they reply to that message, then of course, there's where you want them to be. So that's it, guys. I hope that's helpful. Like I said, it's working for a lot of our clients, SaaS companies, CMS vendors, DXP vendors. So feel free to use that, take it and build on it, customize it, Yeah, that's basically it from me. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and if this has been helpful, please leave a comment below. It'd be really helpful. And I'll see you again in the next video.